Good evening, Lacomb. How are you tonight? I know we'd all rather be inside and cuddled up and close and face to face, but hopefully this will be the last time we have to do it this way. So you guys are special, and we knew that anyway. My name's Tim Gagan. I'm the principal here at Lacomb, and on behalf of myself, the Lacomb staff, and the community, we want to welcome you to celebrate our 8th grade class, the class of 2021 at Lacomb, class of 2025 at Lebanon High School, or wherever you fellas and ladies end up. So we want to celebrate you tonight. We want to welcome you. We appreciate your cooperation with the masking and social distancing. And if you want to tell me how much you disagree with it, we're on the same page, but I'd be glad to listen to you later. So, with that, I would like to turn this over to the 8th grade students who are going to present a short class history. I don't have actual names on my list, so I hope you know who you are. Kindergarten, where are you? Here we go.
If you were in kindergarten at Lacomb School, please step forward. Some things we would like to thank our kindergarten teacher for, Miss Stevie, are how in our first year at Lacomb, she was so warm and welcoming. It made it just a very wonderful experience for us.
The biggest thing that I remember about my kindergarten year was probably the classroom. It was always super clean, colorful, and organized. I just remember walking in there feeling very safe and comfortable. So I'd like to give a big thanks to her for making my first year of schooling amazing. And the thing that I remember most about her specifically was just her kind, open-hearted attitude. She was super positive, and even when we messed up and made a mistake, she always was not putting us down for it. She was, "You can do it, you can do better." And I would just like to thank her for making me the student that I am today.
Wow. Unfortunately, Miss Stevie was unable to be here today, but we would like to give her a round of applause in spirit.
We'd like to welcome Mackenzie Martin and Christy Evie up to the stage.
If you are here in Lacombe School in 1st grade, to take a few steps out into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 1st grade teacher, Della Long, for encouraging us and keeping a positive attitude every day. It made us easier to come to school. Some things we remember about 1st grade are
growing butterflies, and then the attitude hand stickers,
and the pumpkin patch and the end of the year scrapbook. Unfortunately, Miss
She's here.
Miss Long, will you please come forward and recognize and receive a certificate for appreciation?
Due to budget cuts, there is no certificate tonight, but we will make sure that she gets appropriate recognition.
Students, you can step back to your vehicles. Now we would like to welcome Sam Wolf and Shelby McLaughlin Johnson to the podium.
If you were here in 2nd grade at Lacombe School, please step forward. We would like to thank our second grade teacher, Miss Robinson, for always and for really, for really pushing us academically, especially in math. Have some have some memories about that one. Some things we remember about Miss Robinson are
So, specifically in math, what she did is she timed us like per minute, how many we could get done in a list. And she would always put these little stickers, and the stickers would make my day. They were just like the little stickers that say like, "You're the best. You did your best. You did a great job," or had a little heart or a little sunshine. It just made my day when she did that as a child.
another thing we remember is well, one of our substitutes that would always come in. She was also really nice, Miss Aviles, and she was a great substitute. She was super nice, and just as nice as Miss Robinson, and we really enjoyed her when she came in. If you students may now return to your spots, we would like to welcome Abigail Cook and Paige. Oh yeah, sorry. We would like to, Miss Robinson, would you please step forward and get a round of applause?
Miss Abigail should step forward as well.
We would like to welcome Paige Meekins and Abigail Cook to the stand.
If you were here at Lacomb School in 3rd grade, please step out into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 3rd grade teacher, Miss Mason, for being an amazing teacher, helping us, and not giving us homework on Fridays.
Some things we remember about 3rd grade are going to swimming lessons, watching the movie holes, and reading the book, and meeting new friends.
Miss Mason, will you please stand up and be recognized with a round of applause?
Students, you may now return to your vehicle. Now we would like to welcome Sophia Dalzell and Connor Harper. If you were here in Lacomb School during 4th grade, please take a few steps into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 4th grade teacher, Miss Weiser, for caring so much about everyone's grades. She empowered people and made everyone feel special and heard.
She was fun teaching us in 4th grade and put on funny voices during meeting.
She would always let us choose where we wanted to sit and always made everyone feel included. She also never let anyone touch the whiteboard because she never wanted to leave oil marks on the whiteboard. Miss Weiser, will you please come forward and be recognized with an applause? Students can now get back into your spots. Now we would like to welcome Caden Krebs and Hudson Week.
If you are here in 5th grade in Lacomb School, please come out in the parking lot. We would like to thank our 5th grade teacher, Miss Sloan. She was helpful she was CN10, and she was friendly. Mr. Long, will you please stand up and be recognized with a round of applause?
We would also like to thank our other fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Abbott, for setting us up for a great middle school experience. Some things to remember about that part of fifth grade were how she greeted us with a smile every day, and that she let us work on the comfortable couch, and allowing us to play games when we were done working. Unfortunately, Mrs. Abbott was unable to be here tonight, but we'd still like to recognize her with a round of applause. Students, you may now step back to your vehicle. Now we would like to welcome Claire Maple and Ryan Jackson to the podium.
If you are here at Lacomb School in 6th grade, please step out to the parking lot. We would like to thank our 6th grade teacher, Ms. Coleman, for being strict. It really helped our class out. Some things we remember about 6th grade are the volcanoes and forest camp. Those were really fun to do.
Some other things that we remember about 6th grade is fun dip, and we did not make very good choices with that. Another thing we remembered is blaming everything on David. If something were to happen, it'd always be David's fault. Miss Coleman, will you please stand up and be recognized with a round of applause? Students, you may now return to your vehicle. Now we would like to welcome Aaliyah Adams and Lily Dale out to the podium. If you are here at Lacomb School in 7th grade, please step out into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 7th grade teacher, Mr. McGovern, for being an outstanding teacher even during the COVID time. Some things we remember about 7th grade was doing the bacteria experiments, and how we made it fun and gross at the same time. Also, something we remember was a Native American project where we all got into groups and competed against everyone. And also, one of the biggest memories are probably when he played the guitar and sang for us, especially Country Road, because we begged him to. Mr. McGovern, will you please stand up to be recognized with a round of applause? Students, you may now return to your vehicles. Justice Van Cura and Lexi Wallstad, will you please come up to the podium? If you are at Lacomb School in 8th grade, please step out into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 8th grade teacher, Mr. Weiss, for being an engaging and supportive mentor.
Some things to remember about 8th grade are the Revolutionary War, about the Patriots and the Loyalists, the Patriots being the American side and the Loyalists being the British. And then after that, we were doing it on Zoom and all that. And then when we came back to Lacomb in person, we did this egg drop thing. Fortunately, I lost, which sucked. But anyway, that was fun because my thing got destroyed by a pickaxe. And unfortunately, it did not get ran over, but other things have been. And the next thing we did was the Civil War, and honestly, it was very engaging. there was two sides, of course, the Union and the Confederate side. We had these points on the whiteboard, and we would have chants and stuff to get like extra points. Fortunately, I was on the Confederate team, and the Union side won. Kind of upset about that still. Well, anyway, that's about it.
Mr. Weiss, would you please stand and be recognized with a round of applause? Students, you may now return to your vehicle. We would now like to welcome Maddie Mackey to the stage.
I would like to give a massive thanks to Mrs. Avalos for coming in and substituting in our class. It's not easy coming into a classroom that you haven't taught for an entire year and have to be with them a lot, especially when we're not a very easy class. Apart from that, she also did it during a really difficult time for us. She had to deal with regulations that aren't there for a normal teacher. And I remember having her in the second grade, and it was really cool to see her as she's grown as a teacher and for her to see me as I grew as a student. So I would just like her to stand up and get a round of applause because you really deserve it. I'd like to welcome Philly Vandenberg and Macy Cornell to the podium.
If you had Mr. Burr as your PE teacher, please step out into the parking lot. We would like to thank our 7th grade PE teacher, Mr. Burt, for being an amazing PE teacher and making it such a fun experience for all of us.
Some things we remember about our PE class was him letting us play music and all the games we did, like Great Wall of China and Captain.
Mr. Burt, will you please stand up and be recognized with a round of applause?
Students may now return to your vehicle. Now we would like to welcome Carlos Garcia and Gabe Chester.
If you were at Lacomb School this year, then you know our awesome PE teacher, Mr. Ryan. We'd like to thank him for opening us up to different activities and giving us opportunities to learn about sports we can participate in during high school.
Some things we remember about Renner are doing archery in school. That was amazing and a lot of fun. I also remember having a lot of fun during field day. We did so many things. Some things I remember personally is when he gave me so many compliments, and it means so much to me. Renner's a good role model and is an inspiration. Ms. Renner, please make yourself up. Now, Mr.
Hey, thank you. All right, so we're going to give out some certificates to recognize some students. Give me a second here. So usually every year I focus on some fun awards, and we're going to do that here in a second. But this year we actually have some serious ones I want to give out. So first one, we're going to recognize some honor roll kids, starting with our students who had a 3.0, so B average or better, all the way up to a 3.5. So if you hear your name, please come on down and receive a certificate. So our first honor roll student, 3.0 or better the whole year, Carlos Garcia. Thank you, Our next honor roll student, Grayson Farr. Come on down. If your certificate flies away, I apologize. Good luck chasing it down. All right. Our next honor roll student, 3.0 or better, Hudson Weeks. because that's going to take a while. Finley Vanderveer, come on down. Hey, you might want to stay nearby. There's going to be another one. And our last one, 3.0 to 3.5, Aaliyah Adams. I'll meet you halfway. Our other honor roll students, 3.5 or better. 3.5, so all A's and B's, nearly 4.0, which would be straight A's. We have less of those. Our first one, Sam Wolf. Dallas Headley. Shelby McLaughlin Johnson. Lillian Dalebout. Abby Cook. And our last one. You're welcome. I would consider our valedictorian. I think there was one B early in the year, but you Zoom, and you know we're past that now. Alexis Wellstead. Don't forget to turn around and pose for the picture. No. Yeah, right there.
No.
Hey, Lexi, don't go too far either. We have Perfect Attendance Award. Lexi Wellstead, come on back. Shelby McLaughlin Johnson, Perfect Attendance. And our last perfect attendance, Hudson Weeks. I always say a pretty direct correlation between showing up and doing well. Hudson, while you're here, we have 2 final awards. Let me embarrass you a little bit, because I know Hudson loves the spotlight, always loves to be recognized and be front center of attention. Sorry, bud. So our last two awards are for our 2 annual citizenship awards. It's more or less our students of the year. So let's give a big round. One of them is Hudson Weeks. You are free to go. A good young man, very intelligent, great personality. I hope he does great things next year. And our other student of the year, GPA, kindness, attendance, all-around student, Alexis Wellstead, come on back. All right, that's the serious stuff. Now let's have some fun. So every year, tradition, 7 years in the running, I do my most likely to awards. So this is not my choice. I just want to reiterate that. I did not choose these. So don't get offended or upset with me. This has been selected by your peers. So we did a class vote, given the opportunity to back out if they didn't want it. There are no certificates. We're just going to recognize. So go ahead and take a step forward and we'll recognize you. So voted on by your peers, the student most likely to become a doctor. Medical field, here we come. Madison Mackey. Hey, Maddie, everybody. She wanted that one. The next one, most likely voted on by their peers to invent a method of time travel. You guessing, staff? You kind of making your predictions in your head? Which one of those kids are a time traveler? That's Hudson Weeks in the far corner. All right. Our next one is the most likely to become a professional athlete. We got a couple of those, don't we, Renner?
Yeah, we do.
We do. So this was a very close one between a couple different people, but our winner, most likely to become a professional athlete, Carlos Garcia. Javelin thrower extraordinaire. Next up, equally as important, most likely to own a pet monkey. I'm sorry, Teresa. Grayson Farr. Congratulations. And then there's the President of the United States. That one's kind of cool, too. Voted most likely to be the President of the United States, Sam Wolf.
I think you saw that one coming.
Now, this is a tough one. This one, there were like 3 or 4 that were all really close, so this one just barely squeaked by, and I can see why. The most likely to be a valedictorian. So valedictorian, straight A's all the way through high school. Was there last night, had 2 Lacomb kids give speeches, and I hope there are at least 2 Lacomb kids in this group right now that are going to give speeches in 4 years. But the class voted. It's a good choice. Most likely to be a valedictorian, Finley Vandeveer. All right. Most likely to move to a different country. Not sure the rationale behind this one. A couple of different things can come into play. But most likely to move to a different country was David Padilla. David, unfortunately, is not here tonight. I think I would have went with Sophia. That would have been my call. But all right. Next up, most likely to be a stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedian. Who is it, everybody? Justice Bishop. That was a no-brainer. Okay, I like this one. This is one of my favorites every year. Most likely to pass their driver's test, but lock their keys in the car. Oops. So, who's that person most likely to pass their driver's test, but then lock their keys in their car? Yeah, Aaliyah Adams. Another one, I'm not quite sure on rationale here, what goes on in people's thinking. The most likely to live to be 100 years old. Maybe our old soul of the group, maybe that's what it is. Health, I don't know. But our most likely to live to be 100 is Lillian Dalebout. I can see it. All right. Most likely to be late to their own wedding. Yeah, I already heard the murmurs out there. David Padilla. So we might as well get miss the first day of high school out of the way as well, since he's going to be late to that. He's also going to miss his first day of high school, David Padilla. By the way, he's missed tonight as well. We still love him, though. Most likely to become a best-selling author. There are some great writers in this class. I know there are 2 or 3 students who probably wanted this, and I think they deserve it. But our winner, and she can thank me for putting her in the front row, Madison Mackey. Got that extra attention. All right, next one. Most likely to encounter extraterrestrial life. And you know what's unique about this? Every single year, I think, as I reflect back, the person who has invented a method for time traveling probably encounters the aliens, and that is Hudson Weeks. We got a few more left here. I know. Most likely to become a famous actor or actress. It'll probably be a comedic role, because that's Justice Bishop. Our drama queen. Good job, Justice. Most likely to get fired for telling their boss how to do their job. It's funny, everyone's just pointing fingers around like they're going to be the ones that get fired, not me. Well, I think a lot of parents right now are like, the way my teenager talks to me. But that happy parent's going to be Jessica, because that's Madison Mackey. I know, Jessica, I know. The struggle's real.
She has a comment for everything. What can I say?
I know. Most likely to be the crazy cat person. Not crazy cat woman, crazy cat person. I know there are like 2 or 3 crazy cat. We have Zoom, so I know who the crazy cat people are. I'm one of them a little bit. But voted most likely by their peers to be the crazy cat person is Lexi Wellstead. All All right, three left here. Three left. Most likely to be TikTok famous. Yeah, congratulations. Most likely. Sorry. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Joseph. Sorry, bud. I know you wanted this one. You got like over thousands of likes on that one. But most likely to be TikTok famous is Dallas. Dallas. What's gonna get you famous? You never know. Couldn't bait a dance out of him. Most likely to be a famous musical artist. Voted on by their peers, most likely to be a famous musical artist. I don't know what the music would be, but I'm curious. Gabe Elise Jester. Step out, Gabe. He's got the look for it, at least. Album cover. Last one. I always save this one for last because it means a lot to me. Most likely to become a teacher. Who's gonna take my job? It might be an opening next year. Are most likely to become a teacher. I don't know what grade level, if this is more like elementary, high school. I'm thinking, I don't know. I want him to tell me. Carlos Garcia. What are you thinking, Carlos? What grade? 8th grade. 8th grade, there you go. All right, thank you. And we're going to have a couple student promotion or graduation addresses, so I'd like to welcome Madison Mackey after all of her awards to give a little speech.
Glad I made it this far without getting fired. I've been at Lacomb for 9 years, and there are so many good memories I've had at this school. Whether it be I fell down this staircase, but that's another story for another time. My favorite thing about Lacomb is it's not just a school, it's a family. When you walk down the hallway, you're not just another student. They know your name, they know like what your interests are, they know your birthday, and they know like who your family is. And I think that's really important for them to recognize each student as an individual person and not just a student in their class. And each teacher has gone above and beyond to not just teach you the basic academic fundamentals. They teach you characters that you're going to keep on for the rest of your life. And I am super blessed and super grateful that it was this school that I got to be here for so long. So I would just like to give all the teachers in this school in general just a big round of applause. And I'd like to welcome Mackenzie Martin to this podium.
Thank you, Maddie. Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank you all for coming to our 8th grade graduation or promotion. I would especially like to thank my classmates for making middle school and especially 8th grade the most fun and rewarding experiences of my life. I'm very pleased to be able to speak here today on what I know is a very special day. It's special. Hello. Okay, sorry. It's special to the graduates for their proud parents, grandparents, and especially their teachers. Going into high school, you need to be mature. Maturity involves Maturity involves accepting responsibility and being willing to be held accountable for our actions. Now that we have passed the challenges of middle school, it's time for us to move on to a bigger fight, high school, where you have to sacrifice a lot of things. As scary as that may seem, we have what it takes to be successful. Even though we go to school to learn, school also teaches us how to relate to others, which leads us to become more successful. I want to say a huge thank you to Mr. Weiss for being a huge part of helping us 8th graders grow into stronger and better people, always pushing us to be better. We are so grateful for everything you do. Oh, with distance learning and being patient and checking in on us individually to dealing with ever-changing rules due to COVID, his attitude and drive to make things a little better and brighter for us. We all appreciate it, and we'll all miss you so very much. Give him a round of applause. Even if I was never a straight A student, I was always encouraged to work harder. I would ask myself, what could I do better? What could I have done different? Which has led me to be a better student, friend, and daughter. With friendships we've made and the teachers who have made these years fly by, we have them to thank for helping us grow and succeed. Being a part of this wonderful school has taught me so many virtues that my fellow classmates and myself will take with us and use for the rest of our lives. So I'll leave you with this little poem. Don't just leave, do. Don't just hear, listen. Don't just talk, act. Don't just tell, show. Don't just exist, live. And now this is where our adventure begins. Thank you again. I'll give it back to Mr. Wiest.
All right, so throughout the last couple of months while we've been in person, we've had Obria Health come out and do some really awesome presentations talking about social, emotional, mental health and learning. And so that individual has been Luke Zedwick, and he's going to pass out some items to students, but I feel like maybe he should say a word or two, otherwise it's going to be a little unique here. So I'm going to turn it over to Luke.
All right. Good evening, Lacomb. I drove in from Scio, the long trip. I was a little embarrassed to bring a bunch of brooms, but I noticed there's a wooden duck and some old Jell-O, so I feel like this is going to fit right in. I had the pleasure to get to know the 8th grade class these last couple or several weeks and talk about life and talk about things that matter, and they shared some of that with me, and it was really meaningful, and I was honored to get invited tonight. I brought a present. Our last lesson, our last conversation was about looking to the future, and we illustrated it with a broom balanced on one hand. It's too windy to do. But if you try to balance something tall in your hand and you only look at your hand, you won't be able to balance it. But if you look toward where you want to go, if you look toward the future, instead of just the moment you're in and the desires you have for right now, then you'll be able to keep life balanced. But if all you look at is the moment, it'll be a lot harder to succeed. Your life might be getting off balance and you won't even notice until it's too late. So, these are little brooms, because I didn't think you'd want to carry a whole broom home. But it doesn't mean you can't clean your room, so that's another lesson too. So, with that, I'll pass the mic on. Thank you very much.
Told you, those were some good lessons. Clever stuff. Thank you, Luke. So don't forget your broom. I'm going to take this off. Yeah, I feel better. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, the wind's blowing. It's been 13 days. I'm good to go. So last part of the night before we give out certificates of advancement is just a quick final message from me. I'm not sure what's left to say after Kenzie and Maddie and everyone else has done such a great job. I'll be honest, I showed up to work this morning. I didn't have a speech. Like I have nothing prepared. Part of it was me being like busy between two worlds, two jobs, and the other part's like the uncertainty of this week. Just a couple days ago, I didn't even think I was going to be here. So I'm really fortunate and really blessed that I've had yesterday, today, and then tonight with the class. I guess most graduation speeches kind of start with the thank yous and whatnot, so I should probably get that out of the way. First of all, thank you to the class. So all 27 students out there tonight, thank you. I think every teacher remembers their first class and they remember their last class, and I'm just really, and some in between. Don't get me wrong, Griffin. I see some old students out there, Mariah. But I'm so honored. I was so grateful. Thank you to these students for being that last class. You are a bunch of kind, caring, compassionate human beings. I'm so excited to see what the next 4 years have for you. I'd also like to thank the parents and family members here in the audience. That's a rough year that you just got through. I'm so sorry. Thank you for welcoming me into your house through Zoom and whatnot. But I can only imagine the struggles of being a full-time, you're pretty much a full-time teacher on top of whatever job you have and balancing all those different things. I know that was stressful, so thank you so much for your support this year. And then lastly, thank you to the staff members behind me. And for them talking to black screens for 4 hours a day while no one participates, I'm sure a lot of us were questioning our career choices and like, this isn't why we got into it, and is the world ever going to go back to normal? So I'd like to thank them more than anything, along with one person in particular, because this is her last year after 25 years. I'm sure she might have been here when some of you were here. Gail Bishop, please stand up. Big round of applause for Gail. 25 years. Thank you so much, Gail. When I came here, she's always supported me, helped me out quite a bit, so I appreciate that. So now I think the thank you part of the graduation speech is over. So now it's the point where I reflect on the year and then try to draw some sort of moral lessons. I think that's how graduation speeches go. This is my 7th year at Lacomb. 7th time I've done this graduation address, and every year I'm kind of emotional as I say goodbye to the class. This year is no different, but at the same time it is different because I can relate more, I think, with this class because I'm leaving too. So I get kind of the fear and the anxiety that you might be experiencing, like you're going to have to interact with new people in a different setting, and you're going to have different responsibilities, and so I can really relate to that. And so I'm wondering, so how do we address that anxiety? How do we address that fear, that uncertainty? And I would suggest 2 things. And you know these 2 things because they're 2 of the core values in my classroom. Persevere and you love. I mean, 8th graders, think about the year that you just went through. Like, I can't even imagine. You're, 12-ish years old, and all of a sudden the world gets flipped upside down? Like, the world as you know it, you're sent home from Mr. McGovern's class, and at first you're probably like, sweet, early summer vacation. And then, like, a couple months later, you're like, what the heck is going on in the world right now? And so, like, think about all that you've gone through. And then as you got close to September, and you're thinking, all right, go back to normal. Oh, no, you're going to have to do Zoom and do distance learning and stuff like that. And so there comes a time when you're starting to question everything, right? And I believe it was about that time in September when we were looking outside into our lovely purple and red skies at the apocalypse. And we couldn't even go outside, couldn't breathe outside for 5 or plus days. I remember when we started the school year, and that was going on, there was a windstorm and electricity went out, power went out. And so we're trying to do distance learning without electricity or the internet. And I remember I got up that morning and I went down to the Pizza Hut to use their Wi-Fi. And I tried to email parents saying, hey, don't worry about school, emailing kids. And as I'm sitting there in the Pizza Hut parking lot, I should have realized what type of year this was going to be. I should have known to expect the unexpected. And so as the year went on, I mean, it's crazy. We had this presidential election with whispers of civil war. We had continuing isolation and these mental health crises. We had racial tensions continuing to grow. I can't imagine what it would be like to be 13 or 14 years old right now over the course of the last year. So, and just when you got back to school and you're like, oh, some stability, your teacher bails and tells you I'm going to be gone a couple days a week. Sorry. And then eventually, hey, I'm not even going to be there last week. So you've made it. You're here, you're alive, you're well, you've done it, like you're celebrating this milestone. So what's next? Does it matter? You persevered through all of that. You can persevere through whatever might happen your freshman year. You can take those ups and downs of life and be just fine. So continue to persevere. You've done it and you will continue to do it. And secondly, love others and allow yourself to be loved. A lot of people, like I said earlier, have struggled with mental health over the course of the last year. It's been hard because, isolation, and we're social creatures. We're meant to, share love and build relationships with the people around us. And I have to admit, and I've done relatively well over the last year, I'm kind of an isolationist. Like, I'll admit I don't eat lunch in the staff room, and I'm not always the first person to join the after-school activities. I'm that weird only child. I know. I was that kid. Way too much time to myself. But I also realized that my life without relationships, my life without the people around me is meaningless. Whether that be my family, my students, both past and present, and the people standing behind, or it's not standing, but sitting behind me right now, my life without them is meaningless. So we talked about careers toward the end of the year. with Mrs. Alexander and whatnot, and a lot of you think that you can solve your problems with money. You know, there's one in particular. You think you can find happiness through money, and I'm not going to pretend that like money doesn't bring some comfort and stability and a little bit of happiness, but it will not fulfill you in the end. As I stand here on my last night at Lacomb, I'm rich. I am fulfilled. I saw my previous students graduate from LHS last night. 2 of them gave valedictorian speeches. A couple of them barely scraped by to walk across the stage, but they achieved something that they probably didn't think they could in their life. Today I show up, and if you're wondering why there's been this weird plate of Jell-O, there's a stapler in there. So I show up, and my entire desk is covered in gift wrap. There's chili spilt on my floor. Of course, the Jell-O. All these references from The Office. Are there any Office fans out there? Michael Scott? I don't know. Okay. There's a mallard. So the mallard is actually, there's a walkie-talkie, another reference. If you haven't watched The Office, there's something to do. So anyways, to finish up, I could die a happy man, and I feel completely fulfilled, and that's not because of money, that's because of love. So students, I hope you feel loved tonight. I hope you feel loved by each other, loved by your parents and guardians, loved by the staff members behind me. And so as you transition to that next phase of your life, continue to love others and let yourself be loved. No matter your destination in life, the journey, the direction should always be based on love. So I guess most graduations should end with like some sort of like quote or like final words or something. Like, so what are my last words at Lacomb? I guess I hope that I don't have to have any last words. I hope that you as 8th graders, when you leave, you don't have to have any last words, because my actions and your actions have kind of spoken louder than words. But if I were to choose some final last words, a final piece of advice, it would be this. The wise and stoic philosopher Dwight K. Schrute once said, are you listening, 8th graders? Whenever you're about to do something, think to yourself, would an idiot do that? And if they would, please do not do it. Thank you all.
Thanks to all the speakers, to all of you putting up with our silliness. I'm using a different mic because this one hasn't been sanitized. Sorry, maybe it's too soon for those kind of things. It's my pleasure tonight to give the promotion certificates to the members of this class, and I'm going to ask Mr. Weist to come up, and he will hand you your certificate, and I think I'm okay if you give him a handshake.
Fist bump, handshake, whatever you want.
Whatever. I want to say thanks, parents. This was a hard year, and Brandon did a great job of acknowledging that. I just want to tell you, kids, it's never helpful to call and cuss at the principal, and your parents modeled that perfectly this year. So thank you, parents, for not calling and cussing at the principal for the pandemic. I do appreciate your cooperation and your current support of your children. And so it is my pleasure to give these certificates and to wish you well going into high school. And parents, keep up the good work. So, Brandon, let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right. Aaliyah Adams. When you come up, students, get your certificate here and then walk across, and you can get a bag that's been provided by the PTC with some trinkets and things in it that are nice. And make sure you get your broom so that you can clean your room. Thank you. Gabriel Elise Jester. That smells nice.
The evidence says otherwise.
This is awesome. By the way, many of you students tonight, I didn't recognize you because like you left and you looked like 8th graders and you came back looking like adults. It's crazy. Woo. Justice Bishop. Justice, can I tell you, I wish I could pull off that look. You should. And I'm sorry, it's supposed to be Vancouver. Yeah. I messed that up, so I hope you'll forgive me. Your Justice. Tonight, Anna could not be here, but we want to acknowledge Anna Marie Bersheim. Joseph Chastain. Abigail Cook. Macy Cornell. Lillian Delout. Sophia Dalzell. There's heels involved. No twisted ankles, please. Christy Evie. Grayson Farr.
Want to make your appearance on YouTube, right? Here you go. Congrats.
Carlos Garcia. Jack Glazier. Jack right there. I don't see Jack. All right. Well, we'll get Jack that. Connor Hawker. Dallas Headley. Can I just say I like this look much?
Look at this. Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Jackson. Madison Mackey.
Mom wants her picture. Mom wants her picture. Yeah.
I don't like pictures. Don't lie.
Shelby McLaughlin Johnson.
Probably going to be used for cleaning purposes.
Claire Maple.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
Paige Meekins. I'd like to give a round of applause for David Padilla. He could not be here tonight. Hector Emi Plata. Can we just give a round of applause for Ashley Sandberg? She could not be here tonight. Kaden Trebs. Hudson Weeks. Maybe I should have read that one a little sooner. Oh, that's poor thing. Alexis Wellstad. And Mr. President-elect someday, hopefully, Sam Wolf. Sam, when you are elected president, I'll be about 70 years old-ish. I'd be glad to be your Secretary of Education. I'll just put my name out there for that. I think I moved one on accident here. All right, so there's been a mess up. I'll take the bow for that one. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. I know I've signed these. So Mackenzie Martin, would you come up and shake Mr. Weist's hand and we'll get you your certificate. Oh yeah, you're retiring. I can blame you. Okay. I'm going to miss you, Gail. And last but not least, Finley Vanderveer. Anybody else out there I missed that like something free cookies and things? No, thank you. So, ladies, I apologize profusely for that oversight, and I don't know what happened. So, with that, it was about a week ago Sunday. I was out disc golfing with my best friend from high school. Yeah, at my age, you still have best friends from high school. And I got a call. Mr. Weiss called me. He said, "I'm devastated and I have bad news." And I said, "Oh, great. What else?" He said, "I can't be there for 8th grade celebration." I said, "You're kidding." He said, "No, I'm not kidding." He told me the story. And I said, okay. And I just want to tell you, folks, I believe in belief. And I think if you believe in something, that something can come true. So I hung up the phone, and my best friend said, "What was that about?" And I said, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it." I put down my disc golf bag, and I said, "You know what? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine." I was 60 feet out from a nice little putt, lined up, threw the putt, crashed the chain, 60 feet. Doesn't happen very often. I'm not that good. And it was at that moment that I had belief. Okay? Everything turns out for the good. Everything turns out for the good. And don't give up. Next day, I called Mr. Yates and I said, "Are you sure about this?" And he said, "It's what the regulations say." I called Mr. Haney. I said, "Are you sure about this?" And he said, "It's what the regulations say." I called my mom. I said, "How are you, Mom?" She doesn't care about this. But I had belief. And this last weekend, I got another phone call from Mr. Weiss and said, "Guess what? I get to be there." Don't give up on the thing you believe in. I believed that Mr. Weiss would be here. I believe it with all my heart. My friends, who I talk to and communicate with regularly, they believed with me. Call it God or the universe or whatever. But have belief, because you can make things happen just by believing. I think Brandon believed, staff believed. We didn't give up. Don't give up. Okay? I'm glad to tell you tonight that I'm proud of you. I've said to the high school principals, you're getting a really great freshman class from Lacomb School. I want to congratulate you one last time, and on behalf of the staff, wish you well. Have a great evening. You are dismissed. Is there anything you'd like to say, Ms. PTC President? No. Outgoing?
Outgoing.
If you're interested in participating in PTC, please see me at some point in the next 3 months. Have a great evening and drive home safely. And Caleb, would you mind stopping that so that people can stop watching me make a fool of myself?